All right. Perfect. All right. Wait 1 second. Now it's still setting up. I don't know.
Okay.
How was work?
Good.
Yeah.
It was my day off, but I got called in, so I had to do a few things.
Oh, isn't that the worst?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Maybe one day we'll get it up. And it's supposed to be slower because of the pandemic.
Right. I know exactly. Well, I cover for like 4 different resorts,
Yeah.
so it kept me busy. And I'm glad I got a job.
Yeah. Hey,
At this
honestly,
point.
that's the truth. I mean, at this point, especially in that industry, I mean, a lot of things are changing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, here we are. I'll make sure it's live now on Facebook. And, obviously we love talking to you. You're one of our favorite people to talk to. Why don't you just real quick kind of talk about, obviously Rafe is the reason we're here today. Just real quick, kind of go over his story again and how it
Sure.
brought us to where we are today.
Okay. Well, it started actually back in 2007. November 30th, driving home from work, got a call from Mike Schultz, Zane's dad, and said that Rafe had dropped on the field, and didn't really hit me. I just assumed, that he passed out or, something, nothing as far as the severity of what had happened. He said, just meet us at the hospital. So drove straight to the hospital. The ambulance came in. All of Rafe's teammates were there as well. And, at first the doctors really didn't know what was going on. Drove him over to Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital that evening. And we discussed with the cardiologist what was going on, that he had suffered sudden cardiac arrest. And if he were to survive that episode, that his sports career was over. And Valerie and I sat in the hospital that night and, pondered what are we going to tell him? We didn't really think that the end result was, him passing away, and just, talked it over, like, how are we going to tell him that he can't play soccer anymore? Because that was definitely his life and his passion. He did pass away the next evening, and we were just in total shock. We just couldn't believe what was happening, and as well as all of the kids, kind of threw all of them into, a spiral as well. A few years later, when the boys did go away to college, they started Play for Rafe, was the original nonprofit that was started in his memory. And at that point, it kind of morphed from there into who we play for. And those kids have just, I always refer to them as kids, even though they're, in their 30s.
Now they're like almost 30
now. I always will always see them as high schoolers, regardless of how old they are. And they have just done an amazing job in honoring Rafe, his memory and his legacy. And through that, with the screenings that have been done and the lives that have been saved, they've saved over 100 lives because of those screenings. It does give us some comfort. It's still an open wound, and I don't think that'll ever subside. There'll be certain things that can set me off. I'll hear a song or, just see something that'll remind me of Rafe, and, makes me just start thinking about it more and more.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you've seen, you were just kind of talking about just, how much work, Evan and all of them have put in to make this a thing, and who we play for as big as it is. What is it like now to see, though, how many people are involved. I mean, there are so many people that are involved in who we play for, and not just who we play for, but Parent Heart Watch, things like that. What's it like to see that?
That is absolutely amazing. And I'll share a little story with you. 3 days ago, we had a guest that came into the Wyndham. I was going through a contract with him. We got to the end of the contract. These people are from South Dakota, and both an older couple in their 70s, they had each lost their spouses to cancer. And they had decided that, hey, we've got this limited time left. We're going to start, doing what we can together, spend as much time together, and, just enjoy each other and the time that we have. And I kind of shared a little bit about Rafe, that, yeah, when he was younger and our kids were younger, I worked a lot and didn't get to always do as much as I would have wanted to with the kids, and started talking about who we play for. And he says, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "No,
No way.
we do heart screenings." He goes, "You're not going to believe this. I'm involved with a nonprofit here in South Dakota that does heart screenings. And they also do echoes along with the ECGs. They also do echocardiograms." And he brings up Parent Heart Watch. He goes, "I went to the last conference for Parent Heart Watch. Well, actually 2 years ago. I was in Houston, Texas." And I said, "Well, geez, there's in Texas now, they've passed that law that it's mandatory for student athletes to be screened." He goes, "Oh, I know Scott Stevens." And Scott his son had passed away from sudden cardiac arrest. And he was the one that had spearheaded the effort to get that bill and passed and into law in Texas. So it's, a small world. They're a very small organization in South Dakota, and we shared each other's information, and it's something that we're going to hopefully partner with. And I know that's Evan and Kurt's goal, is to scale this thing where we can do these around the country and partner with other organizations to save kids' lives. So it was just amazing.
That is crazy. I mean, and while obviously like the circumstances are really sad, what a small world. I mean, just that is crazy.
He was a high school teacher and also a coach. And, obviously a lot of athletes had gone through his program, and that's what somebody reached out to him and said, "Hey, this is what we want to do. Do you want to become involved?" And sure enough. So it's just amazing. And I think until a tragedy happens in a community, there's really not that groundswell of participation to get a program going like that. So, unfortunately, that's what it takes. I had no clue that sudden cardiac arrest could happen to my child, and it would have been the furthest thing from my mind. But now to know that there's a program in place, and for a ridiculously low price, that you can get your kids screened, it's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you've seen it since like day one, who we play for, how much work they put in to make this a thing. And obviously you still are doing a lot of work very closely, and you work directly with who we play for. Why don't you kind of talk about some of your goals and things that you are kind of working on right now?
Sure. Right now, we live in a pretty small town here in Colorado. So we've instituted a program where we screen the 8th grade students prior to them getting into high school. We offer it free to everyone in the 8th grade. It's been a little disappointing as far as the participation. We're looking at this year, there was about 120 students in the 8th grade class. We screened about 50% of those. and we're eliminating any challenges that make it difficult for the student to get screened. We're doing it during their PE classes. There's no cost. The issue that we're seeing is the kids forget to bring in their permission slips. So it's a little frustrating to me, on that end.
Yeah.
I've partnered with our local Rotary Club here in Pagosa Springs. They've donated funds. We've raised funds. So, that I don't want that to ever be an obstacle for a student to get screened, that they don't have the $20 to pay for the screening.
That's awesome. Well, you guys are doing work there too. I mean,
Yeah.
taking what we did in Brevard all the way over to Colorado.
Right. Yeah, and actually last year, the screening that we did in February, Evan, Sean Sema, and Sean's son Carter came out to participate in the screening. RJ Black and Josh Wang, who are living up in Denver, which were, two of Rafe's closest friends, they came down to assist with it. So, the kids are still staying involved with it, and it just definitely gives me strength knowing that these kids are helping.
Absolutely. All right, perfect. Well, our last question is that we like to ask you guys, and I think your answer might be a little obvious, but our question that we like to ask everybody is, who do you play for?
Definitely for Rafe, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And also, please let everyone know that we are still going to be, in some form or fashion, going to be doing the December to Remember events.
I was actually going to ask about that because I was just curious, with the pandemic,
we're not exactly sure what format it's going to take place. We're definitely doing the golf tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be on Friday, December 18th.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have details coming out for that pretty soon here. And then also in October, we're going to be launching a crowdfunding to raise some funds, because obviously with COVID-19, we do have to do some different procedures for the screenings. And we haven't been able to do we've been able to do as many screenings, but it's been a little difficult as far as getting the number of participants that we were projecting to screen earlier in the year, pre-COVID.
Absolutely.
But we're going to continue on the fight without a doubt. Just screen the teens is my motto now.
Screen the teens. I love it. That's perfect. All right. Awesome. Well, is there anything else you want people to know about or anything before I let you go?
No, anybody who is interested in participating, donating, our website is whoweplayfor.org. Go right on there. There's a button that you can click for donations. Also, they are utilizing that website for scheduling screenings. So just help us out any way you can. We appreciate all the hard work that everyone has done behind the scenes. There's a lot of people that aren't getting any recognition, but boy, are they doing the work.
Yeah.
You included.
Oh, no, I'm right here on the screen.
Yeah, right, that's true.
I'm here. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, awesome. Of course, we'll put the link and stuff in this post, so people can click it, and hopefully we can get some donations going around here.
Fantastic. Thank you, Molly.
Perfect. Thanks so much. It was good to see you again.
See you as well.
All right.
Hopefully you'll be there in December.
Hey, I'm playing. That's part of the reason I was asking. I got to start putting in for this stuff.
All right. So